South Korean consumers turned their most pessimistic in more than a decade in April as the coronavirus outbreak hits businesses and hampers social life, only adding to worries of economic slowdown. The U.S. president says he knows how North Korea's Kim Jong-un is doing, while declining to speak further about his conditions. South Korea's Foreign Affairs and Unification ministers will talk about reports surrounding North Korea and its leader Kim Jong-un with lawmakers. Plus 100 days since South Korea reported its first coronavirus patient, and the country with a significant low number of new infections is becoming a model to others around the world for its effective quarantine and containment measures. Our starting point this morning, South Korean consumers are not dipping into their wallets, according to a survey from the central bank on this Tuesday, which shows consumer sentiment is now the most pessimistic it has been in more than 11 years in April due to the COVID-19 pandemic. South Korea's consumer sentiment in April fell for the third straight month to a level not seen since the 2008 global financial crisis. The Bank of Korea said Tuesday that the consumer sentiment index for April fell over 7 points to 70.8, mainly because of COVID-19. It's another big monthly fall since the index plunged over 18 points last month. A reading below 100 means pessimists outnumber optimists. And current financial status fell 6 points, while the outlook for the financial status fell 4 points. And the outlook for job was also down by 6 points. South Korea's ministers of Foreign Affairs and Unification are believed to be attending parliamentary committee as we speak on the mystery surrounding North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's health as well as regional security. Now, this comes as the South Korean government has been consistently saying it has detected nothing out of the ordinary from the north, despite the stream of reports on Kim's supposed ill health. They are also set to discuss the ongoing negotiations on a defense cost-sharing deal with Washington. And that deal has been stuck in limbo for months as the allies can't see eye to eye on the amount of financial contribution Seoul should pay. It was a throwaway comment in many ways during a press conference on COVID-19, but it's one that has a lot of tongues wagging. U.S. President Donald Trump has revealed that he knows North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is doing, but that he's unwilling to share it with the world yet. His comments in the Rose Garden on Monday came after days of speculation over Kim Jong-un's health conditions. Watch this.
Yes, I do have a very good idea, but I can't talk about it now. I just wish him well. I've had a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un.
President Trump added that the public will probably be hearing about Kim's health in the not too distant future, but again provided no specific details about when that could be. Earlier, President Trump had criticized U.S. media outlets for reporting incorrect information about Kim's health, saying that he cited old documents. China says it has sent COVID-19 testing kits to North Korea. However, regarding the rampant speculation over North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's health, Beijing insisted it had no information to give. Our Yoon Jung-min for this report.
Despite North Korea insisting there have been zero COVID-19 infections within its borders, China's foreign ministry revealed Monday that it has sent COVID-19 testing kits to North Korea without mentioning how many or when they were sent.
After the COVID-19 epidemic, international organizations such as the Red Cross have provided support for epidemic prevention for North Korea. China has also provided some test kits for North Korea just in case.
Asked about reports that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is gravely ill and whether Beijing has sent a delegation and medical experts to Pyongyang, the foreign ministry said it had no related information to offer. China has reportedly sent a delegation and dozens of medical experts to North Korea, but it's unclear whether this was to help Kim or help North Korea fight the coronavirus. The spokesman flatly refused to comment on the speculation swirling around Kim's health or whether they have sent such a team to Pyongyang.
I want to say that I don't know the source of the information. I have nothing to offer in terms of the detailed question you asked.
North Korea has been tight-lipped on the rumors that Kim is seriously ill following a botched surgery. Fueling the rumors is the fact that Kim has not been seen in public for weeks. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
The number of global COVID-19 cases has topped another milestone, this time 3 million cases. The U.S. is also still seeing a large number of new infections, with new cases in that country having reached a daily average of almost 25,000 this month. Russia also reported over 6,000 new cases on Sunday alone, its largest tally for a single day. In Europe, the COVID-19 situation seems to have settled somewhat. The country of Spain saw fewer than 300 deaths on Sunday, the lowest since the end of March. Italy has reported 2,000 new daily cases on average as of late, a sharp drop from its peak of around 6,000. Italy is soon to resume economic activities in early May. After battling the coronavirus outbreak for months since the first patient was reported in South Korea exactly 100 days ago, the country has made astonishing progress, especially compared to a number of other places around the world. Local health authorities are now converting infectious disease wards back to regular hospitals as more patients are being discharged from hospitals after making full recoveries. Our Kim Hyo-sun with more.
Hospital beds and medical equipment are piled up in a lobby at a hospital in Seoul. They are left in the corridor to secure enough space to treat COVID-19 patients after the hospital was named a designated hospital for infectious diseases on February 20th. In mid-March, nearly 80 COVID-19 patients were hospitalized here, but now the number is more like 40.
We are seeing a drop in the number of inpatients. We hope the outbreak comes to an end.
As the nation sees a dwindling number of newly confirmed cases, the South Korean government has started to reduce the number of hospitals specially designated to treat COVID-19. Some 67 hospitals and 7,500 beds nationwide were designated at the outset. Of them, a dozen hospitals with no COVID-19 patients were removed from the list last Thursday. Health authorities say they will be monitoring the trend of the outbreak before finalizing their decision for Daegu, the epicenter of the virus in South Korea, as well as the metropolitan area where sporadic infections are still being reported.
Patients with other ailments are being treated at other hospitals. In some places, designated hospitals are the only hospitals in the area.
The authorities will also begin to reduce the number of so-called life treatment centers, which were set up to treat COVID-19 patients with mild symptoms, as the number of people under treatment is expected to drop to around 1,000 in the near future if there are no further cluster infections. However, the authorities add that treatment centers for inbound travelers will be kept at 300 rooms. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
People here in South Korea are steadily going back to their pre-outbreak daily lives and routines as the number of new COVID-19 cases in the country has sharply flattened out. With the supply of protective face masks also having been stabilized, the South Korean government is even considering sending these masks overseas for humanitarian support, but only in exceptional cases. Kim Sung-min with more.
On the way to work or even just when heading to a nearby supermarket, wearing a face mask has become the new norm in South Korea. Luckily, the mask supply in the country is now largely stable, and it is much easier to get hold of a mask than it was when the outbreak first started.
Like a month ago, I used to line up for an hour or visit early in the morning to buy a mask, but now I can buy them whenever I want to, so I can tell the supply is quite steady now.
The steady supply has led the government to raise the weekly mask allowance from 2 to 3.
I feel more relieved because there are more masks now. Before, I sometimes had to wear the same mask for a week, but now I can use it less often.
Pharmacists that once used to have to turn away mask buyers are now handling the demand much more easily.
This part of Gangnam is one of the most crowded places in South Korea, but it's hard to find any long lines of people trying to get hold of masks here.
When there was a serious shortage of masks, people just wanted any type of mask as long as they could buy some. But now with sufficient supply, demand for masks has become more specific. They even want a specific size and color. With sufficient supply, the government has also announced that masks can be sent overseas in certain cases so long as domestic supplies remain stable. 1 million masks will be sent abroad to foreign Korean War veterans. The government also announced Tuesday that it'll provide free masks to socially vulnerable Korean nationals living overseas, such as adopted Koreans and senior citizens who are living alone. Kim Sung-min, Arirang News.
The Seoul metropolitan government is providing $4,000 to 5 companies in the MICE, otherwise known as the Meetings, Incentives, Conferences, and Exhibition industry. It said Monday that it aims to help these companies, which have been going through a torrid time as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. Companies based in Seoul and have been in operation for longer than 2 years can apply online for financial support from May 4th to May 15th. With sports fans around the world crying out for some live action to watch amid this pandemic, a number of countries have purchased broadcasting rights to South Korea's K-League. U.S. sports media giant ESPN is also working on a deal to broadcast Korean baseball games over in the U.S. Our Lee Seung-jae tells us more.
COVID-19 has brought the sporting world to a shuddering halt. Football fans, often cooped up at home under lockdown, are starved of being able to watch their favorite players and teams compete. It is an especially big blow for European football fans, where the suspended English Premier League, Spain's La Liga, and Germany's Bundesliga draw in hundreds of millions of viewers each and every week. Across the Atlantic, Major League Baseball has been put on hold as the U.S. remains the global hotspot for the virus. But now, sports fans will be able to get their adrenaline fix through Korean leagues. With the Top Flight K-League 1 and second-tier K-League 2 beginning their football season on May 8th, the league announced on Monday that it has sold broadcasting rights to 10 countries so far this year, mostly in Asia and Europe. The league added that TV stations and digital platforms in Germany, France, Italy, Australia, and the U.S. have inquired about purchasing K-League rights as well. According to Seoul-based Yonhap News Agency on Monday, U.S. sports media giant ESPN is closing in on a deal to broadcast South Korean baseball games to its American audience this season, as the KBO is set to start their season on May 5th. Citing an anonymous source, the report said ESPN could air multiple KBO games a week, but the duration of the deal and the proposed financial terms weren't immediately clear. With both domestic football and baseball games being aired overseas, it'll be a win-win situation for the South Korean leagues due to the international exposure it will bring and for fans in the countries that will air the games live. At the same time, it'll be a ray of hope for the world. It will show that the virus can be overcome and things will eventually return to normal. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Good morning. The fine spring season is here, but unfortunately, that also means it is fire season. We need to be very careful with all cases of wildfire ignition. In fact, the city of Seosan in Chungcheongnam-do province and Busan are still under wildfire advisory. In fact, Busan has been under a dry weather advisory for 7 days straight. Other than that, we'll continue to have pleasant weather. A somewhat chilly morning will warm up to the 20s in most regions with good air quality and sunny skies nationwide. And we do have beautiful weather to wrap up the month, highs touching near 25 degrees Celsius on Buddha's birthday, which marks this Thursday. But big temperature gaps will persist for the time being. That's Korea for you, and here's the international weather for views around the globe.
And that is it for us at this hour, but we'll be back with more of the day's headlines in our later newscasts coming up at noon Korea time, so do join us again then. As always, thank you for watching and goodbye.